Hello and welcome to the video. As I promised, I will be getting the watches that are reviewed in my AliExpress sale video, the ones that I actually haven't reviewed yet. So there are a few watches that are currently on the way, and this one is actually the first one to arrive. I purchased it before the AliExpress sale, so I did pay full price for it, $139 to be exact. Yeah, no preferential treatment for me from Pagani Design, probably contrary to popular belief. This is PD 1682, which is obviously a tribute to the Explorer. Let's have a closer look. This is a usual box, and I don't know how many. I think I've probably got a dozen of Pagani Design watches that I've reviewed to date on the channel, and this box is not different. So what do we have? Yeah, no surprises here. Usual Pagani Design manual, unstamp card, branded cloth, I believe. Yeah, they did include this time a tool, a screwdriver, which should be useful because I believe this bracelet has screws, not pins. And yeah, this is the actual watch. Right, again, no difference. Wood tag is exactly the same, even though they're charging almost $50 more than their kind of usual price. Now, my first impression, it is quite chunky, I've got to say. It is bigger than I kind of anticipated. It is 42 millimeters, well, at least how stated. I haven't measured it yet. Literally received it probably about an hour ago through the post. Let's put it into a sweet spot, kind of wind it up. Here we go. Yes, everything seemed to be aligning and everything seemed to be all right. And the first impression, I'll obviously have a much closer look. I don't know if, I hope it can be actually captured in the video properly. The GMT hand is quite bright orange. It's a little bit brighter again than I expected, but hey, it's not a big deal, but interesting nevertheless. So we have, as you can see, yep, I haven't taken any stickers off. Yeah, we've got signed crown there. I like that particular style of signed crown. And yeah, we have see-through back. Here we go. And the bracelet feels very solid and quite chunky, I have to say. And we've got screws, solid links, nice and chunky. There is this diver's extension, not quite sure how relevant it is. It reminds me very much of another Pagani Design watch that I reviewed last year. Very similar clasp with very similar extension. I probably will pull it out during the full review. Yeah, double pusher, very robust. No worries there. Solid end links. So we were promised sapphire, and yeah, they even say it is sapphire. Well, I think they've done it on their other watches as well, so no surprise here. So polished flanks, quite chunky case, as I already mentioned, see-through back. In terms of the movement, we have DG5833 movement here, GMT movement, which I believe is similar to this Pagani Design watch movement, which cost about $90. So yeah, the difference between these two watches is in price is $50, and I will be quite curious to see if it's more than just the price that is actually the difference. So one point about this particular movement, this movement is not immune to a so-called danger zone of changing the date. So as with any other movement, I would strongly recommend to change the date when the hour hand is actually not between 9 and 3 o'clock position. So basically what it means, normally it is not advisable to change the date when the hour hand is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. However, to play fully safe, I usually just drop it completely down here below the equator, so to speak, into the south zone of the dial, and only then I go ahead and change the date or set the GMT. Okay, so if we scroll here, as you can see, in one way the date is changing, and once we start turning it other way, the GMT hand is starting to move. Now, one thing I've noticed as well after using this watch for quite some time is that if you set the GMT hand and then just push it, it tends to, as you probably noticed, shift ever so slightly. So to avoid that, what I do, I would normally set the GMT hand to, let's say, like, for instance, here, if I want to send it somewhere around 11, right? And once it's set, I actually do about a quarter turn back of the crown, just a quarter, and then it disengages the gears, and you can easily push it back without affecting the position of the GMT movement. So that is a quick sort of also maybe a brief notes on the GMT movement usage, which might help you to set the GMT time correctly and avoid frustration of jumping GMT hand, and also hopefully help you not to damage the actual mechanism of the watch when you set the date, because like I said, this mechanism is the same as most of other mechanical watches on the market, are susceptible to this danger zone. When you set the date, you can actually break the gears that change the date in the normal time, and the same gears, as we can see, actually affect the GMT, or probably similar set of gears affect the GMT hand. So keep that in mind, and hopefully this movement will give you a good and long service. Well, at least it did to me on this watch. I never had any issues with the GMT movements with this watch. So let's do a quick wrist shot. I'll put this on the wrist just to give you an idea how this watch would look. Of course, I will adjust the bracelet for the full review, but let's just to give an idea how this watch would look on my 7-inch wrist. And yeah, I know it feels comfortable. There is no overhang anywhere, so yes, here we go. Of course, the full review is coming up, where we'll do the whole suite of things, you know, time grapher testing, sapphire crystal testing. Of course, lume, they promised a strong lume on this watch, updated lume, so rest assured I will be comparing it to this GMT watch from Pagani Design. So here you go. I hope you find this helpful, and my first impressions are quite positive. Like I said, I'm still going to be digging deeper and trying to understand what is about this Pagani Design that warrants extra 1.5 times price hike compared to this one. And of course, if you find this useful, do hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.